Hey y'all, it's Crystal here from Christico Design. Today we're learning how to make the Raspberry Ridges Crochet Blanket. The Raspberry Ridges Blanket is made with two stitch patterns. They alternate sections. We'll begin with the lemon peel stitch, which is double crochets and single crochets, and that is the first section you see here that is 8 inches tall. Then we'll switch to the stitch called the extended half double crochet, and that's just a 1-row repeat, and I'll show you how to make that one. It makes kind of the ridges, it's a little bit stretchy, you can see that there, and we'll work that in 4-inch segments. So we'll continue alternating those, and you can make this blanket in a variety of sizes. I'll add all the sizes and the recommended yardage for the amount of yarn you'll need for each size in the description, so be sure to read that. You'll need your 6mm crochet hook and number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. We are going to chain an even number. I am going to chain 38. To make a 32-inch wide blanket, chain 104. 36-inch wide, 116. This is the size pictured here. 40-inch, 130. 45, 146. 54-inch, 174, 66-inch, 212, 80-inch, 258, 90-inch, 290, and 108-inch, 348. Okay, once you've chained to the length you need, then we're ready to start row 1. So I'm going to not work in this one, I'm going to work in the second chain. I like to flip it over and work in the back. I'm going to double crochet, so in the back I'm just going under the 1 loop. Make my double crochet. So that's my stitch, and then the skipped stitch here I'm going to work into when I work back across on the next row. So I'm going to mark that because it can be hard to see and I might forget. Now I am going to work a single crochet in the next chain. And then a double crochet in the following. And that is my repeat across this row. Alternate single, double across. And then we'll end with a double crochet in the last chain. Okay, you'll have the same number of stitches as you had chains because we're going to count this chain space as a stitch. So we have 37 from actual stitches we made, and then we'll count that chain space as 38. So if you chained 116, then you will have 115 stitches plus the skipped chain, which will give you 116 since we're treating the chain space as a stitch. Okay, we're going to turn our work and we'll be ready to work row 2. We're going to start with the chain 1, which counts as a stitch, so we're going to mark this chain with a stitch marker. So that chain 1 will take the place of our first stitch, so we're not going to work in that first double crochet under my thumb here. We're going to go into the next stitch, the single crochet, and we're going to place a double crochet in that single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, which is a double crochet. And then we'll repeat that across. Double crochet, single crochet. Okay, so we finished our repeat across. We need to end with a double crochet in our marked chain here, or chain space. So I'm going to remove that stitch marker. I'll double crochet in that chain space there. And then we're ready to turn our work. Now we're going to keep repeating that last row, row 2. We'll repeat this until you have 8 inches. So it's just a 1 row repeat for row 2. Start with your chain 1. Remember to mark this chain 1 spot as we'll continue to work our last double crochet of the row into it when we get on the next. Skip that double crochet, work a double crochet into the single crochet in the next stitch, and repeat that across. Remembering again, when you get to the end of the row here, you'll have a double in this single, a single in this double, and then you'll have your chain 1 space. So you'll work into the chain 1 there with a last double crochet, turn your work, chain 1 and mark it, and continue repeating that until this measures 8 inches tall, and then we'll be ready to switch to our next stitch pattern, which will be worked for 4 inches. When you have 8 inches, I'm going to go ahead and show you now so we don't have to delay. You're going to switch to our extended half double crochet section, which just like the first section is a 1 row repeat, and you're going to repeat it for 4 inches or 8 rows. Okay, so for the second section, and you should be about on row 28, the actual row count is not super important. You can go off of the 8 inches and the 4 inches. So we'll start these rows with the chain 1, and we are going to work into the same stitch. So this chain 1 does not count as a stitch for the extended half double crochet rows. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that very first stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 3. There's our first stitch of the row. The chain 1 does not count. We're just using that to get started. So I'm going to mark the top of that stitch as my first stitch for my extended half double crochet. And then I'm just going to repeat that across, extended half double crochet in the next and in the following. Just remember on this first row, as we switch stitch patterns from alternating double and singles to all extended half double crochets, we will have at the end of this first row 1 chain space marked that we need to work into, and then that will go away after we work the first row of our new stitch pattern, because this chain 1 that we started with doesn't count. We've marked our first stitch here, the actual extended half double crochet. So I'm going to work that up, and I'll be sure to show you at the end here. Okay, so at the end of row 1 for the first row of extended half double crochets, we are working into our lemon peel stitch, which means we end with a chain 1 that we need to work into on this 1 row of extended half double crochets. So I'll remove that stitch marker and work into that chain with my extended half double crochet. And then from here I will have only extended half double crochets to work into, because that first chain 1 at the beginning of the extended half double crochet rows does not count as a stitch for this 4-inch section. Okay, so we'll keep repeating our extended half double crochet row. Chain 1 doesn't count. Work an extended half double crochet into the first stitch and each stitch across. This will be our 1 row repeat until we have a 4-inch section of these rows. Okay, we're at the end of the second row of extended half double crochets. So I have 2 stitches left here, and I'm working into the first extended half double crochet I made to end the row, like so. So again, you just have a 1 row repeat. Just repeat that extended half double crochet row for 4 inches. And then for the rest of the blanket, you are going to repeat the first section, so row 2, and that will be for 8-inch sections, and then 4-inch sections of the extended half double crochet row, row 28. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and switch back to the lemon peel stitch, our alternating double and single, just to show you what that looks like as you change from the extended. So 8 inches of the first repeat, 4 inches of the second, and then go back to the first repeat for another 8 inches. So we'll start with a chain 1, and now this chain 1 you'll need to work into on the following rows. So we'll go ahead and mark that chain 1, and then that counts for our first stitch here. So we're going to work in the next stitch with a double crochet, and then a single crochet in the following, and a double crochet in the next, and just keep repeating that across. So I have 2 stitches left here on my first lemon peel stitch. That's the single crochet and double crochet row after my extended half double crochet rows. So on that first one there, we're working into the last extended half double crochet with a double crochet at the end there. Then we're going to turn, and we're doing the 1 row repeat for our next section of 8 inches. So here at the beginning we chained 1, so now we're going to work into that chain 1 every time. So you start a row with a chain 1 and mark it, and then you just repeat what we just did, working the second stitch, a double crochet in that single, and then single in the double across, and continue repeating that 1 row repeat for 8 inches. Then you'll switch back to the extended half double crochet for 4-inch segments, and you'll keep repeating those 2 segments for the length of your blanket. You just want to be sure to end after an 8-inch section of lemon peel stitch, as the 4-inch sections of extended half double crochet are a little bit stretchy to be on the end. Okay, and then you're ready to cut your yarn and weave in your ends and enjoy your cozy new blanket.